In the opulent setting of a grand ballroom, a wealthy aristocrat's cruelty towards a maid reveals a hidden talent that will change the course of her life forever. The grand ballroom of the historic manor was ablaze with light, the chandeliers casting a warm glow over the lavish gathering. The air was filled with the melody of a string quartet, the scent of expensive perfumes, and the hushed whispers of the elite. Among the sea of silk gowns and tailored suits, a young woman moved quietly, her presence almost invisible. Her name was Sophia, a maid who had been hired to serve the guests at this exclusive event. Sophia wore a simple gray dress, her dark hair pulled back into a neat bun, and her eyes held a quiet dignity that went unnoticed by most. She had been a maid for years, ever since her family lost everything and she was forced into servitude. But beneath her humble exterior, Sophia carried a secret. Before tragedy struck, she had been a promising ballet dancer, her grace and talent recognized by all who saw her perform. Her dreams had been shattered when her mother fell ill, and she was left to care for her younger siblings. That night, as she moved among the guests, serving wine and clearing plates, she couldn't help but feel a pang of longing for her past life. The music from the quartet stirred memories of the ballet studio, the feel of the satin slippers on her feet, and the applause that once filled her heart with joy. Suddenly, a booming voice cut through the music. Lord Harrington, a wealthy and aristocrat nobleman, was holding court in the center of the room. He waved a folded note in his hand, his eyes scanning the crowd with a mocking gleam. His laughter silenced the music for a moment, and all eyes turned to him. "This maid," he sneered, pointing directly at Sophia. "She doesn't belong here. But tell you what, sweetheart, if you can dance a perfect pirouette right here, right now, I'll make you the envy of every woman in this room." The crowd erupted in cruel laughter, the words echoing in Sophia's ears like a harsh judgment. She froze, her heart pounding in her chest. The room spun around her, and for a moment she wished she could disappear. But deep inside, another voice whispered, "You have nothing to lose." Sophia's hands trembled as she placed the tray she was holding onto a nearby table. Her breath came in shallow gasps, and her mind raced. She looked around the room, seeing the mockery in the eyes of the guests, the cruelty in Lord Harrington's smile. And then, she made her decision. With a deep breath, she stepped forward, her shoulders straight and her eyes lifted. The pianist, sensing the sudden tension, began to play a soft, haunting melody. The room fell silent, all eyes on Sophia as she began to move. Her feet glided across the polished floor, her arms flowing gracefully, and her body twisting and turning with a precision that belied her years of practice. The crowd watched in disbelief as Sophia performed a series of perfect pirouettes, her movements fluid and elegant. The music swelled, and Sophia danced with a passion that spoke of years of sacrifice and dreams deferred. The room was silent, save for the soft strains of the piano and the rustle of silk as the guests leaned forward, captivated by the sight before them. Sophia's eyes shimmered with unshed tears, but her face was a mask of serenity. She danced not for their approval, but for herself, for the young girl who had once dreamed of the stage. And as the final note faded away, Sophia stood still, her body poised in a perfect arabesque. The room was silent for a long moment, and then, applause erupted like thunder. The guests, who had once mocked her, now cheered, their faces a mix of awe and shame. But Sophia didn't smile. She only bowed her head slightly, her heart aching not for their admiration, but for the memory of who she used to be. Lord Harrington, his face red with humiliation, stepped forward, his arrogance crumbling. He had mocked her, only to be silenced by her grace. But Sophia didn't stay to revel in his downfall. She quietly turned and walked away, leaving the ballroom and its inhabitants behind. As she stepped out into the cool night air, she knew that her life would never be the same. The grand ballroom had seen her strength, and though she had come as a servant, she had left as a dancer. The journey was far from over, but Sophia had taken the first step towards reclaiming her dreams.